Give me 1 second. Hold on, actually. 1 second.
Too late.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Craft Beer Nation's Friday Night Hangout. I'm not sure which episode this is, 100 and something. Before we get started, as always, I want to remind you, follow us, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, any social media outlets, you can probably find us there. Be sure to check out our podcast, Pints and Quarts. We just wrapped up a show with Sam Cruz from Against the Grain Brewery out of Louisville, Kentucky. Louisville, Kentucky. He was an absolute delight to interview and have on the show. So be sure to check out that podcast. It'll be up in the next few days. So without further ado, tonight we are honoring one of a CBN favorite. We're drinking all things Stone, not Stone Duh, but all things Stone Brewery. We are joined by our usual Friday night cast. Starting from my left, Matt Miller. How are you?
Well. Thank you.
Freddie Rodriguez.
Salute.
Jeffrey J. Davis.
Yeah, he must be good.
Yeah, nothing to say.
www.mute.com/Jeffrey. Linda Dean.
92 degrees.
Is that a boy band?
Yeah, I was going to say, is that a band?
It's the perfect weather for beer.
And apparently that's smoking hot in Oregon. That's
Yeah.
that's a
In
cool
Oregon,
summer
that's
day.
like 104% humidity in Oregon.
That's a reasonable summer day here in Virginia. For Ricky, that's midnight.
Yeah, it's like cold. It was like
Yeah.
we haven't seen below 100 in 3 weeks.
Ricky Potts, how are you tonight, sir?
Hey, good man. Ready to drink some Stone beers. Like I never get it open.
All right, and yeah, you got. I get the. So y'all don't know what Ricky's drinking yet, but I know what Ricky's drinking, and
I'm already
yeah,
sweating.
he's gonna get to a point where he's probably gonna wish he didn't get that beer open. So, at any rate, Matt, let's start with you, man. What are you drinking tonight?
Well, I'm drinking a beer that came out last year. I guess it was just a one-off. They really should make it all the time, but it's a collaboration between Stone, Insurgent, Chris Banker, and it even tells you how to pronounce it right on there. Shokoveza.
That's such a good beer.
Yeah, it is everything complex that you would ever want. It's got cocoa, coffee, peppers, vanilla, cinnamon, and nutmeg in it. And I'm telling you, it's right now it's still at refrigerator temperature. I'm waiting for it to warm up a little bit. Maybe the vanilla and nutmeg will come forward, but I get the cocoa, the coffee, the peppers, the cinnamon, all those things are right there. But it is one of my favorite beers that they made, and I was very fortunate to find a bunch of them at a gas station in Maryland. Boy, it was snowing out, so January or so.
Wow.
So I cleaned them
beer
out, and now I'm drinking my last one.
You found it at a gas station in Maryland.
Yeah. It actually they had a pretty nice craft beer selection, and a lot of the, I don't want to say big market craft beer, but it's what it kind of was. There was a lot of good stuff there, but then just some bomber selections, and I just kind of, boy, maybe I should get this, maybe I should get that, and then I fell into these, and I spent my whole paycheck on it. So,
Man.
but it is, to me, the peppers. You guys have had this before, right? So most of you.
Mm-hmm.
The peppers are really present right on the front of the palate. You get that little heat, but it doesn't finish hot like the poor Ricky Potts taste buds coming up here. But it doesn't finish hot, but it finishes spicy. It finishes complex.
For me, when I had that beer, I got more of the. Well, there was a little bit of pepper heat, but I got a lot of the pepper flavor.
Yeah.
Are you getting that as well?
I am, but when you stick your nose in this thing, it's all cinnamon. The cinnamon really powers through the other spices.
That's what stood out to me, like the cinnamon, nutmeg.
Yeah.
I wish I could. I never even got a bottle of that beer. I got it on tap at World of Beer, and I wasn't even able to come across any bottles of it. But
I had 2 bottles and killed them.
I don't blame you.
I mean, it's just all those things are so well presented though, because a lot of times, oh, it's a hoppy beer, oh, it's a malty beer, but this one you stop and you think about it, and you're like, oh, I get the coffee, there's the chocolate, oh man, that cinnamon drives it home, and it's to me that's what you want in a beer. There's so many different things to taste there.
Yeah.
In an 8.1%, I get no heat from it. You know, it isn't one of their bigger, boozier beers. So I mean, it's not a session ale, but it isn't hot like like Ruin 10 or some of those other ones.
Is that one of the you know how they do they produce like a homebrew a homebrew recipe they'll put out, like the R&R coconut IPA. That was a result of a homebrew recipe, I think. Is this beer the same thing?
Yeah, I believe that Chris Banker was a home brewer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Points Unknown, I think, was the same. I think it's all part of that series, I believe. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
But.
No. Points Unknown is a straight up collaboration with two other breweries.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
Like
Yeah.
Wicked Weed and someone else.
eclectic.
Yeah, he won a contest. He won a homebrew contest, and they did this beer.
I think that beer was really good redemption for the coconut IPA because I didn't get any coconut in the coconut IPA.
And that was the only
And-
thing they put on the bottle.
Yeah, and in that beer right there, all the flavors that they have listed on the bottle, I got every one of
Yeah.
them.
I don't
packed
get
with
the vanilla.
flavor.
I don't get the vanilla, but I think it'll get it as I heat it up.
Yeah. Before we go to Freddie, I wanted to Charles posted a link today or something, or texted me a link or something. He knows I'm a Stone fanboy. And it looks as if when the video comes on, it's Greg and I don't know who the other guy is. I'm guessing he's the other owner at Stone. They're looking at the camera as if they're talking to the camera, and they're telling whoever they're talking to, they're like, it's time for you to go. You gotta go. You gotta do your own thing. We get the bravado. We get the need to want to be important, but you gotta go. It's time for you to go on your own. And so it's called Arrogant. The website is road.arrogantbastard.com or something like that. So Arrogant Bastard is hitting the road, and I think they're letting other breweries brew the beer, starting with Great Divide, and then Maui's gonna brew it, and then Brewdog is gonna brew it.
Oh, hey, that
So-
actually sounds pretty freaking cool.
Crazy.
I thought the same thing. I thought that was a really cool
Yeah.
idea. I mean, one of their flagship beers, they're gonna let other breweries brew it for them. Like, that's crazy.
Well, who knows? You know, who knows what awesome flavors are going to turn out of it. I mean, open sourcing beer is a great idea.
Well, my question is, like, is Stone expecting them to adhere to the recipe, or can they do like their own variation of it?
That's a good question. But I mean, granted, their ingredients are still going to differ by where they get it from.
Yeah. Even if they adhere to the recipe, it's still going to be a different beer, I think.
I think they'd have to adhere to the recipe. It's like to really, I mean, it would
To
make
label it
sense.
the same, you would
Yeah,
think.
to label it, yeah.
But
Yeah.
I think that thing's straight out of Tom Sawyer, right? I mean, where that dude got that other guy to paint the fence for him. I mean, they're smart. Those dudes are smart, man.
But it would be cool, like, if there were 4 or 5 of them, like, and you did a blind taste test to be able to see if you could, like, tell the differences in between them if it was the same recipe, and then just to see, like, what's the original. And I would think that there would have to be some contractual thing with Stone to, like, here's the recipe to one of our most successful flagship beers, go brew it now. Like, that I don't know, maybe not, but...
Yeah, but there's a lot of collab beers like that are brewed by all the partners individually. You know, like Blacker with Three Floyd, Surly, and Real Ales. The Tap 5 between Schneider Weiss and Brooklyn Brewing. You know, and they brewed them totally separately, and the beers taste quite a bit different actually.
Yeah.
I mean, and just from a geographical standpoint, these beers are almost guaranteed to be different because you got one brewed with water out of Denver, Colorado, which is probably vastly different from Escondido, California.
Oh, yeah.
One that's
It's
going
like sand, dry sand. Yeah.
yeah, now, right?
Yeah.
You got one that's going to be brewed with water from Hawaii or in Hawaii, and then you got one that's going to be brewed in Europe. So I'm almost sure that you're probably going to be able to have 4 different versions of Arrogant Bastard. So we could do a quick 4-year vertical of the same.
Yeah.
A 1-year vertical of 4. I don't even know what you would call that.
A horizontal, maybe.
Horizontal. The same beer.
That'd be a cool box set too. Like if they packaged them all four together, like
I'm sure they will.
yeah,
I'm
like
sure
something they would do.
Probably
But you know, that's
expensive.
that's a cool way to kind of maintain relevance for a particular beer, right? I mean, Arrogant Bastard is almost a staple. I mean, I know some people don't like it. I really like the beer. I like the Arrogant Bastard. I like Double Bastard. I like Lucky Bastard, and I'm gonna like other people Brood Bastards. I'm sure I will. And so I mean, but it's a nice little change up. I mean, that's pretty creative from Stone's perspective.
Well, and think about it from Stone's point of view, like to have other brewing companies be okay to brew a beer that, like, I mean, what's the word I'm looking for? Like that they're that successful to be able to another brewing company be like on board with brewing their kind of flagship beer. Like, and that's a cool thing. I mean,
my concern would be like, what if they brew it better than me?
Yeah.
But then again, they're pretty arrogant, so
they don't care. They have smaller font. Even if their other beer tastes better, Stone will come out with like a 2-point font, you know, and so they're.
I wonder if they're just gonna like brew it and then just add stuff to it, like, you know, then maybe let other breweries kind of play off the regular recipe, maybe. I don't know.
Well, I mean, to Jeffrey's point, if they're gonna still call it Arrogant Bastard, then they probably got to stick to the recipe.
Yeah.
Yep.
Anyway, Freddie, what are you drinking?
I am drinking tonight a beer from Stone that was, I guess, brewed in the past. It's the reincarnation of it. It is none other than Stone's Ruination 2.0.
Yeah.
Dang good.
Yeah. You get the typical Stone, like pine needle, resiny hop presence, you know, on the nose, followed by a slight tropical hop smell to it. Kind of biscuity. It's solid. You know, I was reading up a little bit on it. You know, so I guess the difference, one of the main differerences, they dry hop this, and then they use a technique called hop bursting, which, correct me if I'm wrong, I think that's just like a real late addition hopping.
Yeah.
Right? They get all the bitter in early. Yeah.
I mean, they did the same thing with Go-To IPA as well.
Yeah.
That's how they were able to get such because the aroma on Go-To is stupid.
Yeah, you would think. I mean, even taste-wise, the hop presence in Go-To, definitely doesn't taste like a sessionable, you know, a lower ABV IPA.
It has the mouthfeel of a session IPA,
Mm-hmm.
but not the taste of a session IPA.
Yeah, you get a lot of like that malty, like biscuity, almost like a buttery like bread to this too. You know, I noticed in the back.
Freddie, do you remember how that one compared to the original Ruination?
You know, I had the chance to go. A bottle shop near me has some left, man. And I was gonna go get it, but I just didn't have the chance.
It's probably old as hell.
Yeah, it is. But I thought it'd be interesting too, because I'm just like, let me just, you know.
I just had a 1.0 like 3 weeks ago. That's what's still on the shelf out in Nevada, and it was solid, man. And, you know, so I didn't get a chance to do a side by side, but I couldn't suss out a date on it, but it still tasted killer fresh.
Yeah. Cool. Speaking of Ruin 10 is coming out on Monday. So
Nice.
There you go. It's now being labeled as a triple IPA.
Yeah.
Like 110 IBUs, like 10 or 11% or something like that.
I
So
know this is over.
Oh, okay, I don't know if I'll be able to do that.
oh, Linda,
I just got used to like 70, 80 IBUs.
I believe in you.
Linda. You got this.
I believe in you.
You got
Are they
this.
gonna call that Ruin 10 2.0? Like the same
Nah,
process?
just straight up Ruin 10. This left it as Ruin 10, yeah.
I mean, Ruination was their first dipper, wasn't it?
One of the early ones, yeah.
Yeah. Jeffrey
man.
J. Davis, what you drinking, bud?
Finally got my technical issues worked out. I had to go to another machine, but I'm drinking a mainline Stone beer. It's actually one of my favorite Stone beers. This is a Stone Cali Belgique.
So
you know, and this beer is to me, I call it like kind of a poor man's Haut Blanc Chouffe knockoff. So this beer is quite similar to you know, the true Belgian IPA by Brasserie à Chouffe, Haut Blanc Chouffe, which is a great beer, and this is pretty damn similar, and for $4.99 for a bomber versus $11.99, you can't beat it. But you get, it's hop forward. Obviously, it's a stone beer, but you got a really nice Belgian yeast, nose and flavor, and got quite a bit of sort of like dry biscuity malts on there. So it's less West Coast than than your average stone beer, but well balanced with the yeastiness and and the esters from the Belgian yeast. I love this beer. It's light. It's pretty light bodied, because it's more like a Belgian style, but it goes great in the summer. I mean, this would be my session beer as opposed to go-to or any other kind of lawnmower beer. I could pound this stuff all day long. I wish they made it in 16-ounce cans.
Do you know if that's like is that anybody else's Belgian yeast that they use in there, or is?
I'm not sure about that, Randy. I don't, they don't brag about, that it's from certain, monastery or anything.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably just a Wyeth, Belgian yeast strain, I would guess.
Because I'm sure they don't have like a house Belgian yeast that they use, because they don't brew. That's the only Belgian style. Well, probably not the only one, because they brew a lot of beer, but. I'm sure they keep a culture around somewhere with a little bit of funk to it, Yeah. Well, that's a good one.
Yeah, I like it.
It's essentially an IPA brewed with Belgian yeast, and I had it and it was solid. But it's one of those beers that unfortunately I tend to pass it up because I always see it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but we talked about that before with the Weyerbacher. I mean, just because it's always there doesn't mean it's killer, So quit standing in line for Enjoy By next time and fork over $4.99 for a bomber of this stuff, man. You won't be disappointed.
I don't stand in line for Enjoy By. Okay. Enjoy By comes to me. It knows who that is.
Yeah. Okay? Who's your daddy? Who's your daddy?
But no, it's not that. It's not that I always see it there and I'm skeptical to get it. I like the beer, and since I see it there all the time, it's always, I'll get it next time. I'll get it next time. You know what I mean?
I would agree, Randy. I bet you it's probably one of their slower moving mainline beers. So I would worry a little bit about freshness. So.
Well, Jeffrey, it sells well enough for them to put it in their mixed 12-pack for this season.
I always view those as the other way around. I view a mixed 12-pack as a way of getting rid of slow-moving inventory, typically. A lot of times.
I guess we can have a debate on that. I mean, you got to brew the beer to pack it, eh?
Yeah, some breweries do that. You check the dates on some of those mixed 12s, and it's some pretty nice antique stuff. But this is good.
Yeah, no doubt. If y'all haven't had that, definitely give that one a go.
Try it once. At least try it once. Yep.
Yeah.
Linda Dean.
Well, my first one tonight is Stone Smoked Porter with Vanilla Bean.
That's
only one of the few smoked beers that I actually really enjoy.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm definitely getting the smokiness off it. It's like standing in like a lovely smoky, peat smoky type burning fire. It'd be the thing, yeah. It's like peat smoke. It's really nice.
But it's not too intense though.
No, actually, although I'm smelling the vanilla more than tasting it, it's actually fairly down there. It's not interrupting the roast of the porter at all.
Mm-hmm.
It's really well balanced in there, so it just enhances it instead of trying to cover it up.
Yeah, smoky beers tend to be really overwhelming for me, but that one wasn't, and I got that one because Charles. I think we did smoke beers one night, and Charles was ranting and raving about the smoked vanilla porter from Stone. You gotta try it, And I gave it a go because I try to keep an open mind to styles. And I had it, and I was like, oh, okay, this is okay. I get the smoke, but I'm not being bombarded with smoke. I think they did a really good job with that beer.
I think if you're sharing this one with somebody, if somebody likes smokiness and another person likes vanilla, you guys are going to find a happy medium sharing a bomber of this.
Agreed.
It's
Definitely.
it's really very nice.
And that's one of the ones that they put out. That's an every year release, right?
It's a seasonal, but it's every year, I think, right?
I
Yeah.
thought
Yeah,
they stopped making that.
it says it's a limited release. Now they say their smoked porter is a regular release, but I haven't seen the regular smoked porter at all.
I'm almost positive they stopped brewing it. I don't like maybe 6-7 months ago. I could have swore I heard that they were just done with it and all variants of it. And
Oh,
I haven't.
really?
I've not seen any of
Yeah.
them on shelves
I don't know
anywhere.
how old they are, but they have a lot of the smoked porter there, so I can double check.
Well,
Yeah,
it says you can still find it in Oregon, but I haven't seen it.
Yeah,
So
I've not seen it in
maybe
Arizona.
Maybe it's
in
just not
months.
in my area. But I've seen a lot of the vanilla. I've seen a lot of the smoked porter with vanilla bean at Market of Choice. I've even seen it at Safeway.
So I'm not in the position to tell Stone how to do their marketing, but that would not be a smart beer to stop brewing.
Yeah, I agree.
Because
Which one, the smoked porter or the smoked porter with vanilla?
Any
oh,
other?
either or.
Either one.
Yeah.
So they did.
You know what
They
I-
did
you know
a Chipotle one, I believe, didn't they?
Yeah,
Yep.
that's what
Yes, they did.
that's what I'm looking forward to trying is the
Yeah.
Chipotle.
I
I
didn't-
love
Didn't they
Chipotle.
do a chocolate and orange?
Yeah, the chocolate and orange one smells way better than it tasted. I had it at a beer festival. I never saw bottles of that here.
Yeah,
but
I had it bottled. It was pretty good.
Yeah.
But Randy, maybe they'll stop making it, and then a year or two later bring it back, smoked porter 2.0 or
I
something.
was gonna say, yeah, revamping it a little bit maybe.
You know, those guys are masters of marketing.
They're masters.
Um,
They got us. They got 8 people sitting there talking about their product for free and
Yep.
drinking it.
it's still on their website.
Is it? I swear I heard that, and when I heard it, I was like, oh, I better go buy all the bottles because they were only like $4 or $5.99.
Yeah.
And it's a limited release, so I mean I don't know, maybe they stopped brewing it for this release. I don't know. Perhaps. Who
Yeah,
knows?
perhaps just for this one.
Yeah. Ricky.
Oh boy, I've been I mean, as soon as the cork finally came out, I could smell it. So this is the 2013 release, and I really, really enjoyed the first part of this. So Crime was fantastic. And we've been saving Punishment because it's the hotter of the two, and I could read you the list of peppers that it's got on it, but it just sounds. I mean, one of the peppers is called Moruga Scorpions. I don't even know.
Hey Ricky, read the entire list of peppers for us.
All right, it's got.
In an evil voice.
I don't know if I can do that. Local peppers, and I believe that they grew most, if not all, of these peppers in California, including mid-level heat, red and green jalapenos, ultra hot black. I don't know how to pronounce that word. NAGAS. Caribbean red hots, Moruga scorpions, and fatalias, and morphed into a truly punishing brew. And it's a double bastard ale, and it's whiskey barrel aged. And man, I am just.
You're losing your breath, man. Have you even tasted it yet?
No, I was
Okay.
waiting. I'm kind
Good luck,
of.
Wait, Ricky, has Cheryl tasted it yet?
No, she just walked in the room actually.
Wait, I want y'all to taste at the same time so we can see who acts like a bitch.
That is good.
But wait for it.
Oh yeah, the heat is definitely there. Holy crap, that is hot. But that is like going into Crime, I expected it to be hot.
Is it hotter than Crime?
The heat is really muted since we drank Crime fresh.
Yep.
And this has been in my fridge for over a year.
Crab fresh.
It definitely that is there is like 1,000 flavors going on.
You can get the base beer though a little bit. It's coming through now.
Now, in the back of my palate, I'm getting a little hint of the whiskey flavor and the base beer, the sweet malty finish, and the heat's still there surrounding my palate, but the base of the beer is still at the back.
Do you get any pepper taste besides the heat?
Yeah,
it's it's like real vegetal, right? I mean, kind of like green,
absolutely,
like chopped fresh peppers,
Yeah, and it's. The heat's all right up front, overwhelming, but now as it's sitting here on my palate, and I mean, this is a bottle that if you were going to drink the bottle, you would want to spend an hour or more with. And I originally was going to do it with food, and I was like, let's make a steak and let's like pair it with food. But when I saw we were doing the Stone Beers, I was like, we need to open it and just do it. So I am a huge fan of this. I read Jeffrey posted a review of this and Crime earlier today, and he said Punishment was better, and I would say not a ton better, but it's a better experience, a better flavor, and I think that adding a year to it, a little over a year to it, has really mellowed out the explosion of heat, and man, that is a special flavor. Go into it though, knowing that it's going to be just a ridiculous. Cheryl just said it's going to taste like Tabasco sauce.
No, I bet my view is I think more than 50% of people can't finish a bottle of that and will drain pour it or do a Lola on it, and save it for a couple nights.
Yeah.
I'll say this: I had Crime.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna lie, that beer was hot, but it was. You could still tell that the beer was, even though there was so much heat there, you can still tell that it was well crafted.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely. With Punishment, I feel like there's more complexity. And I don't know if it's because it's been sitting for so long that the heat is mellowed, but I mean, Cheryl just said she couldn't finish even her little pour. Like the complexity of it, like it's a very well crafted brew, and you can tell that there's. I don't get a lot of the whiskey. Like I feel like I would like to taste a little more of the whiskey flavor on the back end. But yeah, you're right. I mean, Crime. This is a better flavor than Crime, and they did another one in that series. It wasn't
Charred.
Charred was fantastic.
Yeah, it was excellent. That was the best one by far, I thought.
Yeah, I agree with that.
The thing is, with the variety of peppers that they have in that beer, it would be easy to assume that they just threw peppers in the beer. But then when you there's no way I can distinguish the flavor of each of those peppers individually. But the combination of peppers that they did put in their beer, that is what makes me think that the beer is well crafted, because it's not.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not. It works, for lack of a better expression.
Yeah. And one of the things that I say about beer, if it says something on it, I want to taste it. So if it's a vanilla porter, I want to taste vanilla. If it's a pepper beer called Punishment, it better be hot, and I better taste pepper, and it home run on that. I mean, I feel like I want to put a cork in it and like.
Don't do that.
Maybe I'll be like, well,
okay, Lola.
and like baste a steak or something with it tomorrow. Like see if it would. I don't know. I'm very pleased with it. I'm going to give it a 4, maybe a 4.25 on Untapped.
Pour it over a steak tonight and let it sit in the fridge.
No,
I disagree with that.
That's a wussy way out.
If you're going to do something, I would make a sauce with it. Don't.
Do I look like a sauce making kind of guy?
I could talk you through it.
Hey, Ricky.
Yeah.
Don't listen to Linda or Jeffrey. Do what I tell you to do, okay?
Chug it, Ricky.
You got a 750 of that beer, right?
No, that's the thing. It's 500 milliliters. It's as heavy as a 750, and it looks like it. It's a 500 milliliter beer.
So
that's what pissed me off. That's what pissed me off.
The bottom of that bottle must have a hell of a punt.
It does. It's like 2 inches thick.
That's a very sturdy bottle. Jeffrey, are they doing it again? You were talking.
That's what somebody told me that they brewed it again in 14.
And I never saw it in 14 if they did.
I haven't had it, but I heard that.
Well, Ricky, I dare you to just go ahead and finish what you got in your glass.
Just pound it.
Not very much. You want me to pour a full?
Yeah, fill it.
Come on. Yeah, fill it up. Yeah.
Stand up, Ricky.
Nothing but frat boys here daring each other to chug.
Yeah. Guy in the background.
Ricky.
Leg stand it, man. Have the wife hold your legs.
Go, Ricky.
Yeah. Oh, that's going to come out tomorrow.
That's actually really good.
It's good now.
Yeah. Well. And we're already
the camera goes off. So.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to sit here and sweat for a few minutes.
A couple hours from now.
Turn my little fan on.
Ricky will be checking into the emergency room. I don't know what happened, Doc.
Yeah.
I do know what happened. It was called a bottle of punishment.
Hey, guys, real quick, before I talk about my beer, and give Ricky a chance to He's like,
Fan himself.
Cheryl, can I get a glass of milk, please? I'm on Stone's website looking at their limited releases. Stone Smoked Porter with Vanilla Beans had it. Stone Delicious IPA have it. Have it. Stone Milk Stout had it. Stone Saison, not my favorite style, haven't had it yet. Enjoy After, got a bottle coming. Enjoy By, had it. Do these hops make my beer look big? I've never.
I heard about the beer, and from what I heard, it was unimpressive. But
really?
That's palate dependent, right? So
I was a little saddened when I saw this, and I was like, I've never heard of this beer.
I thought you were a real fan
either.
of it.
yeah.
I guess not. I turning my my fanboy card.
What type
Stone's
of-
got it on
well,
tap right
depends
now.
what
People are
type of
checking into
hops?
What you say, Linda?
I said it depends what type of hops. I mean, it's going to be different for some people than other. I mean,
No, that's the name of the beer, Linda.
yeah, I know, but
Oh.
it depends on the type of hops whether it's gonna taste big to one person versus another.
Well, it's do these hops make my beer look big?
Not taste big, right?
Yeah, that's what it says. And then, so looking at the special releases, you got Old Guardian had it. Old Guardian Extra Hoppy, don't want it. Imperial Russian Stout had it. Chai Spice Imperial Russian Stout, incredible. If you,
I haven't drank it yet.
Ricky, they delivered on what's on the bottle.
Chai.
Chai Spice, you get every bit of Chai Spice in that beer.
Nice.
Ruin Tent had it 18th anniversary. Wasn't that their last year anniversary beer? 18th anniversary? Yeah, who cares?
Yeah, I don't know.
Bastard releases: Arrogant Bastard Ale, Double Bastard, Lucky Bastard, Bourbon Barrel Age, Arrogant Bastard.
That's so good.
All good. All amazing. Year round: Stone Pale Ale 2.0, Stone Smoke Porter, Stone IPA, Ruination 2.0, Cali Belgique, Go To IPA. And then we get their Stochasticity series.
Yep.
The first, I can't even see them all because they got them. The way they have them lined up on their website is weird. Anybody remember what the first one was?
It was that grapefruit one, wasn't it?
Grapefruit.
Yeah, that's right.
Grapefruit.
So it was the grapefruit. Then there was
Hibiscus as well, I believe. Right? Yeah.
no. The second one was Quadratriticale,
Yeah.
which was their quad. Then it was the Hibiscusity. Then there was the Master of Disguise. And then there's Hi-Fi Lo-Fi Mixtape, which is a blend of an old beer and a new beer.
I didn't like that one very much.
I didn't like the hibiscus very much.
I enjoyed the Hibiscus.
I thought it was plain.
Really?
Yeah, it didn't live up to what I was expecting it to be.
I ain't mad at you.
That beer, just because of the hibiscus, man, that beer looked, the color of that beer was incredible, man. I think it's
The
beautiful.
color was. I agree. The color was fantastic.
Man, I'm going through this. These Stone brews, they brew a lot of different beers.
Definitely.
And
Did you
I'm
guys
not.
see their Instagram page? They had the Stones. They had a picture of the delicious IPA in their crowler. I think like 2 weeks ago was their first crowler fill.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm like,
Um,
they jumped right into that.
The Stone Collaborations, Collective Distortion IPA. Y'all remember that?
Yep.
Unapologetic,
Mm-hmm.
Woot Stout, and then Woot Stout 2.0. And they're coming up with another Woot Stout I think they're going to release at HopCon. Jokaveza, and then Points Unknown. Then the Stone Spotlight series, which was, they had that Sprocket beer.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then Imperial Mutt Brown Ale. I didn't get that one.
I want that one.
Me too. Well, no, I lie. I don't. It's the brown ale.
I love brown ales.
And then Jeffrey, you can. I'm sure I'm going to say this wrong, and you're a cultured man. Maybe you can help me here. Quingenti Millilitri.
Sounds good to me, man. I can't butcher it any worse than that, Randy.
Quingenti. Millilitre. I know it says milliliter, but it's
Militia. Quingente militia. I have no idea what that means.
Sounds so much better like that.
Yeah.
Just say
It's
it real fast. No one will understand you.
Yeah.
right. It's a well, apparently it's a couple different beers.
I've never seen that or heard of it.
There's Stygian Descent, Guardian Slumber, Fyodor's. Is that Fyodor's Classic?
The Fyodor's Classic, which was the 2014 Imperial Russian Style aged in bourbon barrels. Then there was Winter Harvest, which was the Belgian Style Golden Ale aged in white wine barrels with Stone Farms Merlot grapes. Then there was Punishment, which is 2013 Double Bastard, brewed with peppers, aged in bourbon barrels. Crime, Lucky Bastard with peppers, aged in bourbon barrels. Southern Charred, Double Bastard, aged in bourbon barrels. Ruination IPA, aged in Kentucky barrels. Old Guardian, aged in Temecula red wine barrels. Old Guardian, 2011, aged in Kentucky rye whiskey barrels. Old Guardian 2011, aged in Kentucky bourbon barrels. Highway 78 Scotch Ale, which is a Wagner blend, aged in Scotch whiskey barrels. Then the same Chuck Jeff Mitch blend, aged in Scotch whiskey barrels. I've never even heard of these.
Yeah. Not to mention, like, imagine all like all just the brewery releases, like the brewer only releases. You know, like that don't really get bottled. I mean, they're pumping them out.
This one, Mikhail's Odd, 2013 Espresso Imperial Russian Stout, aged in bourbon barrels. I would have loved that.
Like on their Instagram page, like I think I told Randy the other day, I can drink a stout. I don't care if it's like 105 degrees outside.
Me too.
I will enjoy it.
My next beer.
Nonetheless, the on the Instagram page, I don't know if you guys anyone follows them. They had one of the brewers holding up a little cask or whatever, and they brewed. How good does this sound? Their regular the Russian Imperial Stout with Kona coffee, hazelnuts, and chocolate and vanilla bean. Madagascar vanilla beans.
See, yeah, that's
Nice.
just the sound of that.
Yeah, and they had it like a couple days ago, I think, or 2 or 3 days ago.
Linda's already thinking through her dessert pairings for that one.
Yes, I am.
I'm like, oh man, they haven't bottled that up.
All right. So the beer I'm drinking,
Finally.
I
And
can't
that
believe.
was like a 20-minute lead-in. This better be a good beer.
Shut your mouth.
Stone IPA.
Stone
That's what I mean.
Go to IPA. Go to IPA.
Stone Pale Ale 1.0. I can't believe nobody was drinking this beer tonight. I'm drinking Enjoy by 7-4-15.
That was my next one, man.
I haven't gotten an Enjoy by yet.
Is it not in Oregon?
You know what? I
Must
have passed it up a couple of times to get something else.
Cali Belgique.
Go ahead, Jeffrey.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I mean, I kind of got burned out on those after like the third one, you know, after that really dank one, and then I came to this conclusion that it's all the same recipe with just a different label, but how is that one?
it's
So
the same recipe.
you thought the dank one was the same as the others?
No, after that one, they all tasted the same to me,
okay.
you know, and I just kind of stopped coveting them.
Yeah, I definitely don't covet them. The last one I bought before this one was 12/26/14. So
Same here. Same exact thing. December 1 and half the July one. That's it.
And so the only reason why, like, I bought this because I was like, I hadn't had one in a while, and I bought two because I knew I wanted to drink one before the 4th of July. And then Freddie and I were talking, and he was like, yeah, that's like my traditional first beer on the 4th of July. And I was like, oh, okay, I'll get two, and I'll have one on that'll be my first beer on 4th of July as well. So I'm rocking two of them. This beer is still good, man. I know there's a lot of hype around it, but it's still a good.
They're always good. They're always good for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a really good beer, and I mean, I don't know if y'all can tell, but I'm getting over a cold, so shut up. I'm getting over a cold, so I can't smell this beer the way that I want to. I can smell it a little bit, but the aroma, the little bit that I can smell through all this mucus.
Yeah.
Is good. I mean, it tastes fantastic too. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Jeffrey, I know you kind of, you don't want to
No, man.
buy into too much of the hype. But when's the last time you had one?
I think the last one I had was like 4/20/14. I think so, probably.
Damn.
Damn. Yeah, I missed a lot, didn't I?
Yeah. It's like yeah, I lost interest 2 years ago. Freddie, are you on your second beer yet?
I will be in a few minutes. But I was gonna grab that. So.
Okay. Jeffrey, you in your second?
Yeah, so I made my own I made my own mixed 6-pack at the HEB grocery store when the guy wasn't looking. And I never tried this beer before. I always saw it, and I read on the back that it's like kind of like a gluten-free beer, so I was kind of resisting it. But I did finally buy it, and now I know why I was resisting it. Yeah.
You don't like it?
It's all right.
I like it.
The one reason is like I don't think I've ever had a lemon drop hop. So I'm curious about that. So it's got nice citrusy to it, but it's just to me it's a little bit thin. I mean, especially for Stone beer. I mean, for probably anybody else, I would drink this and say, hey, that's a great IPA. But for Stone, it's not kind of at the level I would expect in terms of kind of hop forward character and body to me.
But Jeffrey, let me ask you this though. Well, first of all, it's lemon drop and El Dorado.
El Dorado, right.
But so, wouldn't you think that beer would be almost ideal for the summertime? I mean,
it's refreshing and it's very crisp. So I mean, it's very sessionable. Don't get me wrong. It's not, it's a great beer, and I would love to drink this on the beach. But it's for Stone, it's not it doesn't fit my mental frame of what I'm looking what I expect when I pick up a Stone IPA basically. It's good. It's solid.
I totally understand what you're saying, because points unknown, that beer being brewed by Stone, Wicked Weed, I don't know anything about Eclectic, but just on the strength of Stone and Wicked Weed alone, I was like, this beer is going to be the best double IPA I've ever had in my life. And I drank it, and I was like,
You think that's because they mixed it? Isn't it mixed with like a quad or something like that?
No, a triple.
It's a triple mixed with
with a double IPA.
That's strange.
I was
like, I'm not necessarily disappointed with this thing.
Yeah.
Is that points unknown?
Yeah, this is points unknown, courtesy of Beer 30. But I'm not necessarily disappointed with it. But it's definitely not. It's not as hoppy as I thought it would be. But I'm not sure that's what's missing from it. It seems like there's just something not Stone about it.
Linda, I wasn't. I was only disappointed with it because of the expectation level that I put on it. That was created by who brewed the beer.
Right.
And when I drank it, I was like, "Damn, Stone sent their JV team to brew this beer." You know what I'm saying? Like
I mean, to what they described, I'm getting it. I'm getting the bananas up front, and I'm getting hops in the back. But I think like you, I expected something a little different. I'm not disappointed, but it's just different than I thought it would be.
I get you.
But I mean, you've heard several people say tonight sort of how kind of expectations, you have in your mind what something's going to be just from the label or what you've read about it, and sometimes when it hits your palate, it's a little bit of a letdown for whatever reason, and that.
Yep.
It's probably if you blind tasted it, you'd think it's a great beer, and you didn't know anything about it, you would love it, but you've been thinking about that thing for 48 hours, ready to crack it, after you bought it, and then it's like, wow, that's kind of a.
Jeffrey, for me, it's exactly what you said earlier. Like if somebody else, if that beer had another brewery's name on it, I'd taste it and be like, oh, this is a solid IPA. Yeah. I wouldn't say amazing. Don't be crazy. Shut up, Jeffrey.
I think it's just because I expect more hops, more intense hops from most of the Stone beers. So I was expecting it, like a lot of it.
Yeah, I totally get it. So, Linda, obviously you're still on your first beer. Ricky, did you move on to a second beer, or are you still
No,
trying to... Okay, I don't blame you.
I'm good for tonight when it comes to beer.
Have some chocolate milk, yeah.
Yeah.
I think I'd be remiss if I didn't bring up the fact that Stone's going to be coming to Richmond, Virginia later on this year. And then after that, well, actually concurrently building that brewery, they're also building out their place in Germany.
No, that opened already. They had some kind of an event this last week. I saw something. I thought.
No, they hosted like the last day of some kind of beer festival that they had in Germany. So the brewery it's not up and running yet. It's still being built out. But since we're talking about Stone, let's take a second to talk about the fact that they went to Germany. Do y'all think that that's do you feel like that's like a slap in the face to German brewers saying that, hey, we're gonna come here, us Americans are gonna come here and show you guys how it's done?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
We don't, but they will. Trust me.
Yeah, they will.
The Germans.
I don't think until Stone is readily accessible in every state in the United States, I don't think that it makes sense to move internationally. Now, I get it. I'm sure there's a reason for it. They want to have an international footprint, whatever. But, like, if somebody's sitting in this room right now and says, oh, well, I can't get that beer, it's not distributed here, or the Stone's not in all 50 states, well, get to all 50 states before you start to branch out. I mean... Well,
you got sometimes they can get in all 50 states. I mean, it's not that simple.
I know.
They're not in all 50 states, but Ricky, they're like in 42 of them.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, and dude, the market in Germany is a lot bigger than Wyoming. So I mean, it's driven not by patriotism, but by money. You know.
Yeah.
Well, let's remember as well that tastes outside of the United States are changing.
And that's what makes it exciting.
Widely. And tastes in Germany are changing just as they're changing in Ireland. So, yeah, I don't think it's a slap in the face with Stone. Now, if they go head-to-head with a classic German brewery, then it's an insult.
Yeah.
But if they're just going, hey, here's a different taste for you, then it's perfectly acceptable.
Absolutely. They learn at the same time. They can brew different things. You know, they can do different collabs that we've never even thought of. You know what I mean? Who knows?
Here's what I think. Did y'all see the episode of Brew Dogs when they did the beer with Stone with Greg?
Yep.
I call him Greg. You guys refer to him as Stone. I just call him Greg.
Didn't they brew in a warehouse with the other one? That's crazy. Not a warehouse, but like an old. There's big. Like it used to be like an old gas, like run down. Yeah.
So the thing is, I don't know if anybody paid attention to the part when they were speaking to the local folks about American beer, and one of the women said American beer is like effing in a canoe. She said it's like being in a canoe. It's
sex in a canoe.
Sex in a canoe.
Sex in a canoe. And the answer is fucking close to water. Yeah.
Right. So the thing is, I think a lot of these European people, when they think American beer, they're still thinking Bud Light,
Miller Lite. Miller. Yeah.
So I think that Stone's gonna go there, and they're gonna be like, hold on. Don't change your mindset of what you think American beer is, because it's certainly not. None of us think about American beer. At least I don't. I don't think any of y'all do. When you think American beer, you don't think Bud Light, Miller, Coors. When I think American beer, I think American craft beer. Like Bud Light is becoming further and further, in the back of my mind as craft beer advances. I only think about those guys when they come up with a stupid Super Bowl commercial. Yeah. Other than that, I don't really think about them.
It's probably a little more advanced than you're guessing, Randy. But yeah, still a certain portion of the German populace thinks about it that way. But craft beers, it is penetrating there. They have Braufaktum and other kind of craft style breweries, and you can get some American craft beer there. So it's starting to get around. But you're probably right. A lot of people still think of crappy Miller and Budweiser.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that way of thinking a lot, Randy. And it brings up another thing. I think the offense that some Germans get is because there are a few breweries in the United States, large commercial breweries, which are trying to claim that some of their crappy brewed stuff on the label they're saying that it's from, it's from Germany, it's from Europe, and it's not. They're brewing it in like North Dakota.
Bex.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I couldn't believe that when I heard it. That is completely offensive.
Yeah. I just think I think that Stone. It's inevitable that some of the people in Germany are going to think that, take it as a slap in the face. But I think that Greg is enough of a craft beer ambassador and a good guy as it relates to beer, that he'll be able to dispel those myths soon enough, and get the people in Germany to see that it's not about coming to show you guys how to brew, but it's about showing you guys what American craft beer is about, and that it's not about this tasteless bullshit that you've been drinking, for so long. That's not craft at all.
That same show you saw when they were highlighting some of these German breweries, rather, they had their own little plays on American, IPAs, double IPAs.
Yeah.
And the thing, Randy, is Berlin is like the New York City or San Francisco of Germany. It's a tremendously international city. So, this probably wouldn't play in Bavaria, but it'll work, and it could work in Berlin. We'll see.
Yeah.
More power to Stone.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh, and also they're also coming to Richmond, Virginia. I'm kind of excited about that because Richmond's it's only an hour down the road from me, and they do have some releases that are specific to the brewery almost.
Taproom exclusives, yeah, for sure.
So this is going to be an opportunity for me to get some stuff, and I only hope that they get a crowler machine there because, yeah.
And from what they were saying online, it seemed that they will be.
Growlers are the future, man. Growlers are badass. I love them.
Absolutely.
Because you have to finish them in one setting. That's the main thing.
Stopper.
I know, but the thing is, it's feasible to finish a crowler in one session, right?
Sure, it is.
That's why I prefer, when I get growler fills, I almost always go for 32-ounce growlers because I'm not 64 ounces of old school barley wine. You think I'm gonna finish that in one session? Hell no.
I'm the same.
Me and Doug would. Come on, bro.
That's
Doug. I've drank 750 bottles and drank like a 12-ounce right after. So crowler,
There have been a few beers where I've actually taken a mason jar in and asked them to fill that because it was just way too much for me. I'd love a crowler machine. I'd love a crowler machine in Corvallis. I would totally be there.
You're not allowed to pour into anyone else's growlers in Massachusetts.
Yeah, there are some breweries that won't do that.
Yeah, that's just a policy thing more than anything.
Yeah, and in my opinion, that's silly. I mean, I want to buy your beer in mass quantities. It's freaking fill my bottle.
They're all made in the same factory,
Yeah, absolutely.
So I can't wait till they open, man. And they're bringing a lot of jobs.
When are they opening, Randy?
It just say later this year, late 2015. So
will they be open by CBN Con?
I don't think so.
Ooh.
Okay.
But I will say this: the beer scene, Stone is coming into a city that has a really vibrant beer scene. So it's going. I can't wait to see what type of Stone is all about doing collaborations, obviously, and I can't wait to see what kind of collaborations that they're able to do with the local breweries there in Richmond. It's gonna be Stone and Hardywood Park. Imagine them brewing a beer together.
Ooh.
That's gonna be insane.
Money.
A Stone version of gingerbread stout.
Ridiculous, man.
What?
Mexican gingerbread stout.
What? Anyway,
ghost peppers.
Freddie,
What's up?
are you still drinking that first beer?
Time's running out, so yeah.
Okay.
God, what a lightweight.
Ricky, you're not moving on. Jeffrey's on his third beer.
I'm good with H2O.
This is my first. This is like the 15, and I hadn't had it yet. This is awesome, man. It's got a ton of coffee to it.
Big time. Yeah. I love that. The 2015 was really good.
It's when I first tasted it, I thought it was like the espresso version, but it's not. This is just their straight mainline Russian Imperial. This is excellent this year. This beer is always solid.
my neighbor, I kind of recently got her into craft beer, and she ran across that beer, and she's like, "Oh, this beer is so good." She's like, "What is it? The IRS beer?" And I was like, "No, silly. It's
To play off Randy too, just in case people watching that haven't had the Joy Bite. You know, you don't have to get the bomber. You can get the 12 ounce. You know, if you can get a single too. By the way, so I had that.
Yeah.
That's what I did.
I was like,
I
no,
actually have the bomber and this.
it's not IRS, it's RIS. And she was like, the bottle says IRS.
Doug Nolan was doing the same thing in a chat, in a hangout today with me. He's like, yeah, I got some IRS I'm going to bring out. I'm like, really? Okay.
Nice.
Well, that's what it's called on that bottle. They call it Imperial Russian Stout.
Okay, yeah.
And so I was a little embarrassed.
Oh, yeah, it does say that. Imperial. Yeah, this isn't. What are you talking about? This isn't IRS. What are you talking about, man? Shit, it's right on the label. I didn't even know that. I apologize to your neighbor.
All right, so we're about to end of the show. I want to get y'all's overall thoughts on Stone. Freddie, go Stone on the brewery as a whole, where they are, where they're going, just everything. Freddie, Stone thoughts.
Forefront. They're pushing the limits. They're collabing. They're trying new things all the time. I mean, if you think, like, for me, for instance, personally, I think, like, all right, you're talking about American craft breweries. Stone's got to be right up there, first thought. You know what I mean?
Jeffrey.
They're one of the originators. Tremendous variety of beers. Kind of West Coast innovator. But I'm an OG. Lose the 4-point font. I mean, 8-point minimum.
He's like, I'm an OG. I need my reading glasses.
Yeah, exactly. Don't be hating on my readers, bro.
Linda.
My overwhelming thought about Stone is that they know how to use their hops, and I love them for it.
They can brew.
Ricky.
You totally just stole that because I was going to say, as Randy would say, these guys can brew. They are a fantastic brewing company. Even when they don't hit a home run, I still buy the beers. They're consistent. And somebody that says, hey, what's craft beer taste like? A good place to start would be just making your way through the Stone portfolio. I look forward to their growth. I'm excited for their growth. And every new beer that comes out from them, I just saw they're brewing a carrot cake inspired beer. Sign me up. Ooh, let's go. Yeah, right. It sounds good. Dessert in a glass.
My thoughts with Stone kind of mirrors my thoughts for Founders. I think one of the hallmarks of a good brewery is that we know that Stone is known for hopping the hell out of beers, but at the same time they brew a lot of different styles and they do it well. Same things with Founders. I mean, with Founders you go from getting an IPA to a double IPA to a stout to a barrel-aged stout, to an old ale, to a strong ale. I mean, they brew so many different styles, and they brew them all really well. And I think that's a testament to a brewery that they have good brewers there and they know what they're doing. And Stone, as I said before, I'm a fanboy of theirs. They're definitely one of my top 3 or 4 breweries in the country, because the evident, like, even with Greg, the level he is in the beer industry, when you hear him talk, you can still hear his passion. And like Freddie said, they keep pushing the envelope. I mean, they're expanding. They're not just expanding within the states. They're doing so internationally, and they're unafraid. They're unabashedly doing it. They're building a hotel out in Cali, for goodness sake. Well, Dogfish Head kind of has an inn, but I mean they're building this hotel, and they took brew pubs to the next level with their beer garden and all that stuff. So they're one of the OGs, and they still continue to be leading the pack as it relates to innovation and pushing the envelope and doing the next thing. So they're definitely one of my favorite breweries. So with that said, thank you all for joining us. Had fun talking about Stone beers tonight. I was actually trying to stall to get to the next week to find out what the next to what we're doing next week, but I can't get to it that fast.
Hybrids.
Yeah.
Hybrids, Kolsch, alt beer, cream ale, California Commons, and blonde ales.
And I am glad I will be out of town next week.
As am I.
Am I going to be in a hangout all by myself?
I'll hang with you, Linda. Don't worry.
I might grab some local stuff. We'll see what's up.
Jeffrey appreciates a good alt beer.
A good alt beer is killer, dude. I'm not kidding, man. I love a good alt. You know.
Killer, all
I'm
right.
not playing games, boy.
No, you haven't had a good one. You haven't had a good one, Randy. Trust me.
Just kidding. So again, thank y'all for joining us. Be sure to join us next week when we're talking about alt beers and hybrid stuff. whatever Ricky just said. So, cheers, y'all.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers, guys. Enjoy.